Brandon Benefield, Gerard Bonner, and Diana Michelle.
What's going on, everybody? It is that time of the week. It's Friday. You know what that means. It's time for your favorite podcast, the SHW podcast. This is our wrestling. We are back. It's me, B-Double, Brandon Benefield, alongside the beautiful Diana Michelle. And as you can see, conspicuous by his absence, the great GB Gerard Bonner. He is on the road this week, out there doing the work. And but you know what? He will be back next week as a week from now, it's going to be SHW65, if you could believe that. It's already here. But before we get going too far, because we're going to preview the show for you, before we get going too far, GB did send us in a little video from his travels. So let's check it out.
Yeah.
SHW family, what is good? I am one half of your commentary team. They call me GB around these parts, Gerard Bonner. 1/3 of the amazing award-winning V3. Yes, I miss you, Brandon. Yes, I miss you, Diana. But I am on location this week on assignment in Jamaica. Somebody's got to do it in Kingston, Jamaica, right? I'm getting to do that this week, but I was not going to miss an opportunity to say hi to you guys and to get excited about next week, SHW 65. I cannot wait. It's the last stop on the road to Still Here 6. Can you believe we've been around for 6 years? And next Friday, we will find out which championship Carly Bravo will challenge for after winning the Rumble Jack last month. So I know Diana and Brandon are going to get into it, and I can't wait to hear what they have to say. I hope you'll stick around for it because it's going to be amazing. I miss you guys, and I cannot wait to see you next Friday, a week from today, as we'll be live in the Action Building for SHW 65. Until then, well, it's not time for This Is Our Wrestling, but technically it is time for This Is Our Wrestling.
Man.
I tell you what, yeah, no, we're not jealous. Yeah, GB down there in Jamaica.
Jealous.
Yeah, down there in Jamaica on location doing some work. And of course, we miss him here on the podcast this week, but he will be back next week when we come to you live from the Action Building for SHW 65. And I'm going to be honest, I can't believe it's already here. SHW 65 is 1 week away. I think it was because it took so long for the Rumble Jack to get here.
Yeah, we had that 2+, and it took forever for that to come around. Now it's like 3 weeks ago we were at the Rumble Jack.
Yeah. I'm still recovering. I'm still winded from being number 3 in the Rumble Jack. I'm just
Are you
now
sore?
recovering.
Are you still sore?
I'm good down in case Bryce Cannon shows up.
You feeling it?
I'm just kidding. I'm retired from the ring. You guys remember
That's
my
what
big
you
announcement.
said, but I don't believe it.
That doesn't mean something can't happen in the parking lot. I'm just saying.
I mean, it happened before, but you were on the receiving end.
If I see it coming this time, geez. Anyways.
I'm just going to say this. Don't go outside alone. When you know there's, take a buddy with you.
I have to get Diana Michelle to walk me into my car now after shows. Just because you never know, those no good scoundrels are out there gunning for me again.
Never know.
But look, we've heard a lot of announcements. We've seen a lot of graphics posted on SHW social media over the last couple of weeks. So we've got a lot to go over, a lot to preview. And what do you say we go ahead and jump right in here?
Let's do it. What's first?
Let's see. Let's go through some of these matches, because what's interesting is we saw a lot of match announcements. I think we have like 6 matches that we know of, at least right now. Unless, I mean, there could be something more announced prior, in between now and next Friday, or there could even be something that pops up at the show. You never know at SHW. But 6 matches for sure that were announced. And then we saw some other graphics announcing just different people would be addressing the crowd. Carly Bravo, for instance, who the winner of the 2024 Rumble Jack. We'll talk about that towards the end, because everybody's anxious to find out what that announcement's going to be as he chooses the title he's going to go after. So we'll talk about that here in just a bit. But here's a matchup that's kind of intriguing that I never would have thought of. Never would have until I saw it on paper, and I thought, this could be a pretty wild match. And I also kind of makes me feel bad for Xander Seabolt. He's going to be going one-on-one with Murder One, Blacklist Uno himself. And here's the thing. We know the crazy feud between the Hierarchy and the Grapplers has been ongoing now for several months. The Grapplers end up with the tag team titles. I think the Hierarchy feel that they've been screwed out of the titles, never had a fair shake to get a rematch. And they're not the only ones that feel that way. I mean, we feel that way. I think a lot of the fans feel that way too. But the Grapplers actually ended up eliminating Murder One and Joe Black from the Rumble Jack a couple of weeks ago. And now Murder One gets a chance to get a piece of Xander Seabold. How are we feeling about Seabold's chances here?
I don't know if you've been following the socials, but there's been a lot of smack talk about Mr. Seabold toward Murder One, and I don't know if that's a smart thing.
It's not smart.
Okay, so we know it's not a smart thing.
Here's what I'm wondering. We found out at the Rumble Jack that there's like 47 members of the Grapplers that we never knew about. And so maybe that's why Seabold feels confident now that he's got all this backup.
I'm telling you, everybody who ever dreamed about being a grappler was in the Rumble Jack as a grappler. I mean, that was wild. They were coming. It was like you turn on the lights and roaches come out, and they were just like.
And I thought there was like, we knew of 2 initially. And then and then when we found out Gary Lamb was under one of the masks, we were like, wait, so there's 3. And then Seabold's been part of the group all along. So I guess if you count him, even though he's never been under the mask.
But do we count Exotic Youth as well?
That's a good point. I don't know. The thing is, we know that neither Pepperbottom or Mosley were under the masks at the last show because they were both they were in the Rumble Jack. Now, as far as I know, I don't think it was Bryce Cannon either because I'm under the impression he's still out injured.
Yeah.
Unless he fooled us all and he was under one of the masks as a grappler. I don't know. You never know. There's no telling.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no on that one. If he's gonna come back and do anything, even under a mask, it's gonna be worth it. I don't think that was worth it. Not at all.
Right. I think
not at
right.
all. But
Murder One.
Getting back to the socials and Murder One, I mean, why? Why would you do that? I mean, you know you have a match, but why would you poke the bear and make things worse on you? Because I'm telling you, I don't know anybody who would want to walk down the street in the dark city and feel safe. I don't know. Even I don't care how many grapplers you got with you. It's not a smart move at all. I fear for Mr. Seabold. I do.
Yeah. Well, he's definitely going to have his work cut out for him. I think Murder One is just kind of like he's licking his chops. Like he's ready to get a piece, especially after being eliminated from the Rumble Jack and the way the tag title situation has been over the last several months.
Absolutely.
So he's ready to get some of the grapplers and specifically Xander Seabold. But we were just touching there on the those idiots from Exotic Youth, Zach Mosley, Cornelius Pepperbottom. We did find out there was an announcement that our general manager, Gary Lamb, will be having a face-off with Zach Mosley in the ring. Now, I don't think, I mean, there were some fans asking me, does face-off mean like a match? And I was like, no, I don't think it's going to be a match. They're just going to come face-to-face. And Gary, I guess, is going to have some words. And I guess we're going to find out, I guess, kind of what's next for Exotic Youth because they were, I don't want to cuss on the podcast here, but they were crying and moaning about being in the Rumble Jack. They were given that opportunity. Yes, that stipulation was put into place that they had to fight each other at the 1 and 2 spot. None of it worked out in their favor. Everybody got a little piece of Exotic Youth that night. They ended up getting eliminated early on in the match. And what's next?
But the thing is, the stipulation, like you said, they had to fight. And even in the Rumble Jack, they were just kind of playing around. And Gary came out and was like, no, I didn't say you had to wrestle. I said you had to fight.
Yeah.
So they wound up doing as they were told. They did fight. I don't know if there was any aggression there, but they did fight. They went through the motions and they did fight until you got in there. And then it was just like,
what? No
more fighting against each other. Let's go after Vito.
I don't remember that part. I must have. I think I blacked out. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But they did do what they were told to do. So now I guess Gary has to, I don't know, I wouldn't say reward them, but maybe lay out what the next step is for them to stay in Southern Honor. Because
well, here's what I'm curious about, because in the Rumble Jack, it's no disqualification.
Right.
Hence me using the crutch. Hence Tank using the crutch. Anybody using weapons, whatever they want. Nathan Mowry bringing a door to the ring. Bringing the exploding
fire,
bat,
explosives, yeah.
All that stuff. Zach Mosley went to use a chair at one point Gary ran out, grabbed the chair from him, not allowing him to use it. Then in turn, Mosley gets eliminated. You know, Pepper Bottom they both get eliminated. So I think they were a little bitter about that. And you know how they cry conspiracy after every loss. Anytime they lose,
of course,
it's always somebody else's fault. It's always a conspiracy. Oh, Southern Honor Wrestling's out to get me.
Right.
So whatever. I mean, they've been at odds with SHW management and staff and the roster for well over a year at this point. And who knows what they're going to come out crying about. But we'll see. We'll see next Friday. Gary and Zach Mosley in the ring. Of course, I'm in the graphic, it has Pepper Bottom also standing next to Mosley. So I'm guessing he'll be there as well.
I would not think any other way.
As I mentioned with Bryce Cannon, as far as I know, he's still out injured. Haven't heard or seen anything about that, about a return, anything on a timetable about that. So who knows? Who knows? But it's SHW, so you never know what might happen.
Right.
And of course, all this is leading into our huge anniversary show coming up October 11th, Still Here 6. So maybe it'll be setting the table for something.
6 years.
Can you believe that? 6 years?
That is wild.
Unbelievable. Talk about some matches I didn't expect, but once I saw them on paper, I was like, oh, that's going to be awesome. Was the Kenway and Jackson Drake. Jackson Drake making his SHW debut in the Rumble Jack a couple of weeks ago, and now making his singles debut in the Southern Honor ring against Kenway. And, you know, Kenway, of course, a member of the hierarchy, very impressive over his time in SHW. And Jackson Drake, I don't know if you guys haven't gone back and watched it yet. By the way, Rumble Jack is on IWTV, so
yes,
go out of your way to go back and watch it. It was an amazing show. All kinds of craziness happened. You've heard about most of it at this point, probably, but if you haven't seen it, you need to go and watch it for yourself. But Jackson Drake, he came in like a house of fire and just surprised. I've never seen him live before, and so when he got there, I mean, it was very impressive.
Excited. Yeah, it was fun. It was
very
fun.
impressive. And Jake the Snake, our matchmaker, was very intrigued when these two guys kind of faced off at one point during the Rumble Jack match. And so he decided he wants to put them, see them in singles action. And so there you have it. Kenway and Jackson Drake going to go one-on-one. We've also got another match that I didn't expect, but I'm highly looking forward to, and that is Kyle Matthews and Alexander Lev.
Yeah.
That's going to be crazy, but where is Kyle's mind going to be after I mean, here's the thing.
That needs to be addressed.
I almost said screw job, but when you go back and watch it, and I went back and watched it on IWTV, Hunter, and we're referencing the JTS Legacy Championship match that took place at the Rumble Jack, in case you haven't seen it. Hunter James' foot was clearly under the ropes. The referee just missed it. Now, a lot of times it's the ref's decision and it's final. Right. I don't know what Tristan Michaels did. I guess he got on the phone with Jake or something. I don't know, but he was able to get the decision overturned. But we had a really amazing moment there when we all thought Kyle Matthews had won the Jake the Snake Legacy Championship. It was a very cool moment. It was a special moment.
He did, according to the referee. And I mean, I'm just going to say, how many times has there been some kind of, mix up, or the referee made a incorrect call and somebody else still retained that championship, or was still able to keep it, regardless if the championship was fairly won or not. I mean, and I know that Kyle would love to he'd love to be the champion, but I know that he would want to be the champion in a way that it was a fair.
Yeah, I know. He wants to win it the right way. And
he
I
wants
think
to win it the right way.
As upset as he was and as upset as we were and the fans were, I think Kyle's the kind of guy, like, he understood.
Yeah.
If I'm going to win it, I want to win it the right way. I don't want the guy's foot to be under the rope, and the ref just not see it. So I think you're right. I think he understands what happened, but that's still got to be messing with him a little bit, because then not only did he find out that the decision was reversed, he would not become the JTS Legacy Champion. But then once we found out that news during the Rumble Jack match, the guy who retained the belt, Hunter James, comes in with the belt, decks Kyle, and then eliminates him from the Rumble Jack. So not only does Kyle find out he lost in the JTS match, but then he's eliminated from the Rumble Jack, and he doesn't get the chance to win that one and become a #1 contender. So where's his mindset going to be? On the other hand, you have Alexander Lev, who he'll be facing Kyle Matthews next Friday, but he's had this ongoing feud with Cody Fluffman. Lev has had his faithful followers. All three of them took a super steamroller during the Rumblejack match from Fluff.
Go back to IWTV and watch that.
Yeah, that moment alone was awesome.
My God.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, are they going to still be, they're going to have Fluffman on the mind? And is Kyle going to have the JTS Legacy Championship on his mind? Or will they be able to put it all aside and focus on the task at hand, which is their opponent next Friday?
So you said their opponent, but and I know you mean each other, but
yeah,
Lev is obviously going to have his faithful with him. So
yeah, well, that's true.
The whole thing by itself.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be more of a concern for Kyle than pouting about the championship. Of course, he's not a pouter.
I hope so. I hope you're right, and that's the thing. I feel like he's also the type. He's a veteran, 20 plus years at this point in the business. He knows better. He knows he's got to focus on the task at hand, and so I think he will. I think he'll show up. He'll be ready. Lev, on the other hand, still pretty new in the business. He's come a long way in a short amount of time, though.
Yeah.
I'll give him credit where credit's due, but we do know it's only been a couple of years in the business. And you're right, though. He's got the backup. He's got the Warden. He's got Grayson Pierce, and so Kyle's going to have to keep that head on a swivel, and we'll see. But that's going to be. It should. If they just stay one-on-one and they're both focused, it should be an amazing matchup. But that can be said with a lot of the matches that we talk about, where if there wasn't the shenanigans and the tomfoolery happening on the outside, we'd have a great matchup. So we'll see. Another one-on-one matchup that's going to be taking place. This one has me very excited. It's another gentleman who debuted at the Rumblejack during the Rumblejack match, but he'll be making his singles debut next Friday night, and that is Big Trouble Ben Bishop. When the thing is, though, he's a big dude. He eliminated Logan Creed from the match, which was insane. But he's going to have his hands full with the ugly duckling, Rob Killjoy, who is a tough task for anybody. It doesn't matter how big you are.
That's right. I'm excited about this. I like Ben.
Yeah.
I like Ben. He's fun to watch. He brings a lot of excitement. I mean, he's a spectacle. He's one of the tallest we've ever had in the building.
Well, he claims he's 6'12".
Exactly.
Which, if for anybody out there, that's 7 feet. Here's what's funny. Speaking of his height, this was on social media. He saw the graphic that got put out, which is great. All the graphics in SHW, it's very top quality, look great. But I do understand his beef a little bit with this particular graphic because they made him the same height as Rob Killjoy. And so he was griping that, oh, great, now that anybody who's never seen me before is going to think me and Rob Killjoy are the same height. And then Rob Killjoy retorted with, we are the same height. So anyways, just a kind of a funny thing that I saw them going back and forth about. But you're right. Ben Bishop, very entertaining, great personality, but he's got the size. He's built. I mean, he's such an impressive looking individual.
Yeah.
And I'm excited that he's finally here in Southern Honor and finally going to have a singles matchup. But the ugly duckling, he's always impressive every time we talk about Kyle Matthews being a veteran, Rob Killjoy also a veteran. And I still remember that double springboard leg drop from a few shows back. I was thinking about
that just now. I'm thinking, okay, he can't do that because we only have one ring this time, but he can go from one side to the other. Dude's gonna fly. We already know that, right?
Yeah,
he's gonna fly.
And on top of that, we had that 4-way match for the JTS title a few shows ago, and he was highly impressive in that match as well. So
absolutely, he's another veteran. He's been around for a long time. He knows what's going on. He knows how to do what he does, and it's awesome.
Yeah. Looking forward to that one for sure. As you'll recall, at the Rumblejack, one of the, we talked about the JTS Legacy Championship match that took place. The other title match that took place a few weeks ago was the last man standing match for the Southern Honor Championship. It was absolutely brutal. You heard us talking about it when we did the recap show a couple of weeks back. Gunnar Miller, unsuccessful, unfortunately, in that matchup, ended up in the training ring in the corner of the building and got all the furniture piled on him, tables, doors, chairs, whatever. and could not answer the 10 count and get back to his feet. So Judias, the priest of punishment, retaining.
Not to mention that training ring did not have its mat down. It was straight
That's right.
board.
Exposed boards. Yeah.
So,
and that's after taking
off the ropes.
Choke slam off the ropes through the table onto the exposed boards, and then all the stuff piled on top of him. So understandably, not able to get back to his feet at the 10 count. But Judias, the priest of punishment, retaining the championship, the longest reigning champion in SHW history. And GB said it on the commentary at the show that whether you like him or not, you can't really question it. He has been the most dominant champion in SHW history. And so
with nine defenses,
something like that. Our GB is our encyclopedia, and he's not here, so don't ask me any questions about stats.
I'm gonna say none
because I'll get it wrong, and then people will correct me in the comments.
They don't know. They have asked me too.
Here's the thing, though. Wrestling fans do know Diana. They don't forget. They know everything, and they will come after me if I don't know. So GB's not here, so I'm not going to say any numbers or stats. But we'll talk about it next week on the pre-show. How about that?
Yeah.
But so yeah, Judias retaining the title. We did find out that Judias, along with the Endgame, the other members of the Endgame, will be addressing the SHW crowd. I have no idea what that means, but it says they're going to be addressing the crowd and addressing Still Here 6, which again, as I mentioned, is coming up in October, our huge 6th anniversary show. What does that mean? They're addressing Still Here 6. I don't know. Diana doesn't know. GB doesn't know.
No, I would love to think that it has something to do with who's going to have a title shot against Judias.
That's a great point.
I would love to hear that.
We mentioned Carly at the beginning. We'll talk about him. I'm saving the best for last, so we're going to talk about that at the end. But I don't know. And the thing is, I don't know what part of the show next week these guys are going to come out. Will Carly come out first? Will the Endgame come out first? And who has what to say? Who's Carly going to pick? We'll get to Carly in a few minutes, but the Endgame, you just never know with these guys. They always seem to find a way. They've been one of the most dominant factions in SHW history, alongside the most dominant champion. You saw that Todd Sexton, he was the last one in the Rumblejack. Now, granted, he did get the number 40 spot, so he kind of lucked out there. But a couple other guys very dominant in the Rumblejack. CT Keys, Nick Halen. I mean, the Endgame, they're no joke. They are no joke. And who knows what they have to say, but I'm looking forward to it. And as long as they stay away from the commentary table and your table as well, for that matter.
I don't have. I'm out of tables.
I was gonna say we need to get you another new table, because I feel like you're the
Judias
timekeeper's table.
Freaking suplex my table onto GB's chair.
Yeah, jeez. Such chaos, total chaos. I tell you. Okay, let's move on down the list here. Where are we at? Oh, here's going to be another fun match. Now, again, as I mentioned, someone who debuted in the Rumblejack, but will also now be making their singles debut at SHW65 next Friday. Colby Carino, the NWA's Colby Carino. Somebody else formerly from the NWA that also returned at the Rumblejack. Zicky Dice, the outlandish one, is back, and he will be facing Colby Carino 1-on-1. Both men, former champions within the NWA. And man, this is going to be exciting. It's always fun to see Zicky Dice. I went back. I'm watching the Rumblejack earlier this week. Now that it's on IWTV, and he's shooting the streamers out of his hands. He's got the cards, and like, how is he doing this?
Blowing fire. He's putting it out with him.
I mean, this guy's quite the magician and quite the wrestler.
It's always a good day when Outlandish is in the house. It is.
Yeah. So that's gonna be a fun one. Colby Carino, of course, an amazing athlete. We were very excited. We were shocked, first of all, when his name popped up on the screen at the Rumblejack, and so that was a huge surprise. And I think the fans were pretty excited about that one. And the fact that he's returning in singles action is even more exciting. So that'll be a fun one for sure.
Oh, show.
Oh, so an exciting announcement to, let's just get this one out of the way. And no, I'm not talking about Exotic Youth. I already talked about them. But almost just as Exotic Youth, Matt Griffin will be addressing the Southern Honor crowd. So we'll see what he has to say. Now,
I feel like he's not coming by himself.
Here's the thing. if you remember the Rumblejack, he had the representatives from Action Wrestling that were there. You had who do we have? The Wall, Tyler Stevens. You had Alex Kane was one of them that was in there.
Jaden Newman.
Jaden Newman. That was an interesting little thing with Jaden Newman too, because
he
some
came
people
out with Dan.
He comes out with the Reverend, who and he's affiliated with the Covenant of the Goat in other spaces. We just haven't seen that quite yet in the Action Building in Southern Honor Wrestling until the other night of the Rumblejack when the Reverend brought him out to the ring. So I thought, okay, maybe he's here with the Covenant of the Goat. But then he was also there representing Action Wrestling. So we're not quite sure the details there. But Matt Griffin, of course, he got eliminated.
He's straight picking a fight with Southern Honor.
Yeah, he got eliminated and grabbed the microphone and then started directing traffic in the ring, telling his Action guys to go after Nathan Mowry and to do this and do that. And so, yeah, it's like he's constantly over the last, 6 months, maybe even longer, I guess, but it's been a while where this whole thing has been kind of slowly building, where he's been bringing in guys from Action Wrestling. We had Rico came in a while back. You had Adam Priest has come in. And the thing is, some of these guys are guys that have also wrestled at Southern Honor as well as many other places. But, he's claiming them as like his backup from Action Wrestling. I'm like, oh, I mean, these guys wrestle other places. They're not just Action Wrestling, but whatever. Neither here nor there, I suppose. But Matt Griffin, what is he going to have to say to the crowd, especially heading into Still Here 6 coming up in October? We will find out next Friday, SHW65, when he addresses the crowd. Where are we at? I think a couple more. We're coming down the home stretch here. The one that was just announced yesterday, as a matter of fact. Our pal Sal taking on a newcomer. Now, this guy was not in the Rumblejack. He's just making his Southern Honor debut overall in a singles match, and that is Aaron Dallas. Aaron Dallas. Now, I've seen him a few years ago. GB and I called some stuff for him coming up through the Nightmare Factory. I know you've seen him a few other spaces as well.
Yep.
Duncan Mitchell, who people he's popped into SHW a time or two briefly here and there. But Aaron Dallas, Duncan Mitchell, a tag team in other spaces, the Seventh Sons. But Aaron Dallas making a singles debut here against our pal Sal Renaro. Now, Sal, over the last several months, as kooky as he is, you can't help but kind of feel for him a little bit. He's been on a kind of a rough stretch here as of late. He's been on quite the losing streak. Of course, did not win the Rumblejack either, so chalk up another L to his record here in Southern Honor this year.
Yeah,
but
he needs to win.
He needs a win badly. And here's the deal, though. Aaron Dallas, like I said, we've seen him other spaces. I mean, he is making his debut in Southern Honor. The Southern Honor crowd may be, totally unfamiliar with him. But this guy's good. This guy's real good. And
he is.
He's going to want to come in there just like anybody would at their Southern Honor debut. They're going to want to come in there. They're going to want to impress the crowd. They're going to want to put on a display. Darren Bankston, for instance, they're going to want to put on such a good show, such a good display that SHW management can't help but bring him back because they were that good. And so everybody that makes their debut at SHW has that mindset, has that mentality. They want to get the win and they want to put on an amazing show. And so
he's got a good opponent to do that with. I mean, if he can beat Sal, then it puts a staple in this, whatever. But Sal needs a win.
That's the thing. So you got Dallas who wants to come and make a name for himself at Sal's expense, but then you got Sal who desperately needs a win, and especially a statement win heading into the anniversary in October.
Absolutely.
So no telling what's going to happen in that match. I would say, where's Sal's head going to be going into this match? The thing is about Sal and his head, it's a scary place to even think about. So I don't want to be in there. I don't even know if he knows where his head's at ever. So we'll see. But that's going to be a good match for sure. And then Carly Bravo. We had him on the show a couple of weeks ago on this podcast. It was our recap episode coming out of the Rumblejack. Yep. And he, of course, the winner of the 2024 Rumblejack. A huge moment. Again, go back on IWTV, watch it. The Rumblejack. It was, I can't, I get chills thinking about it because it was such a cool moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you were right there with us. Like, and he gets out of the ring and even had you like announce it one more time. And you gave it the second announcement. I mean, what a moment that was.
Loved it. Loved it. I love me some Carly. I do. He's a whole party all by himself.
Yep.
A whole party. I mean, start to finish, whole party. I think it's his time. He deserves this. He's been busting his butt all over the place. He's shining in Ring of Honor with Captain Sean Dean. He is killing it wherever he goes. And it's to have him come back home, win the Rumble Jack, and go for whichever title he decides he wants to go for. I personally would love to see him as champion, but I would personally love for him and just to bring Sean in and take over the tag titles. That would do it for me. I love that.
I mean, why not? And here's what's funny is like on this podcast a couple of weeks ago, here's the thing. It was announced ahead of time. It was announced at the Rumble Jack. It's been announced several spaces numerous times by different people. And I get it. You're backstage. You're not thinking. You're focused. You're just out there to do your thing. Carly, when we brought it up on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, was like, wait, what? I get my choice of any championship? So he was kind of like thrown by that.
Well, he wasn't there when they said that. So
right. And so it was just kind of a funny moment here on the podcast where he was like learning, like, wait a second, I get my choice of any championship. And that's when it was announced that he will make that decision at SHW65 next Friday in front of the crowd. And so I'm so anxious to hear what title he's going to choose, because like you said, I mean, he'd be an amazing champion, whether it's the Jake the Snake Legacy title, whether it's the Southern Honor Championship, or whether he brings in the Captain Sean Dean and the Infantry, get a shot for the tag team titles. So I'm excited. It just could go one of three ways, and we'll see next Friday. But it's gonna be exciting for sure. But SHW65,
I can't see him leaving with 3 chances or 3 different opportunities on Still Here 6 and not leave with gold. So I'm going to call it. He's going to win whatever championship he's going for.
Okay. So we're all right. So October 11th, Diana's already making her picks.
Yep.
And we don't even know what the match is going to be yet. We don't even know what title it is. Okay.
He's due.
Okay. I like it. I like it. Well, there you have it. Fans, what do you think? First of all, what title do you think he's going to go for? And then do you think he's going to come out of Still Here 6 with the title, with that particular title? So leave it in the comments. Let us know. Join along in the chat. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you're most excited about for next Friday, SHW65, coming to you live from the Action Building. And like I said, GB will be back with us as we join you right here for the live pre-show, the Facebook Live pre-show, which will be 7 to 7:30. And we're excited to it's so crazy. Like I said at the beginning of the episode, it took us so long to get to the Rumble Jack, and now it's like we're already at SHW65 just like a couple of weeks later. It's crazy how quick this one got here. But and if you think about it, then we're going to turn around and it'll be SHW Still Here 6 before you know it. So it's an exciting times here in Southern Honor Wrestling, folks. So don't miss a show. Come join us. Tickets go on sale at the door next Friday starting at 5 p.m. Doors open at 7, bell time at 8. And of course, as always, kids 10 and under are free. That's right. You heard me, folks.
Now go back to IWTV and rewatch the Rumble Jack. I'm going to watch it again this weekend, maybe Sunday, because I have a busy weekend.
Exactly.
We have a busy weekend. But I am going to go back and rewatch it because there's so much that was going on, and I know I missed it. I was there. I was calling as much as I could. I was watching it, this past week. But I know there's some stuff that I missed. I'm definitely going to go back and watch it because it's always good. And you want to see what's going on. You want to see what you missed and what we're talking about.
And you want to get caught up so you're ready to join us next Friday.
That's right.
There you go. Well, hey, that's going to wrap us up. Diana, this was lovely. Thanks for helping me.
It was great.
Preview the upcoming show. We missed GB, and but like I said, he'll be back next week with us. So safe travels to him, and hope he's having a great time on his work trip. He's doing the work. He's out there, folks, and we'll be out there this weekend and some other places. We'll be all over town, but we will be with you guys next Friday in the Action Building. Man, I can't wait. SHW65. But until we see you then, this has been
SHW
this is our. I don't know if we were gonna say that together because that's normally GB's part. So this is our wrestling. We'll see you next week.
This is our wrestling. Yeah, it is.